Welcome back to episode 2 of the Deep End Podcast. Today we're going to take a deep dive into overthinking and just go through what we've learned about it, our experiences, and just spread some wisdom. Have a yap sesh.
I think Austin has a promise to make real quick.
Yeah.
My promise is that I'm very confident that after you watch this episode, you're going to have a completely different perspective on overthinking. You'll know what to do about your overthinking, and you won't overthink overthinking. You'll just get it.
I think that's a pretty promising promise.
Yeah.
All right, but let me go ahead and introduce everybody. We got Austin, who's over there. We have Brandon, Kevon, and we have myself, Cody. And yeah, man, what is overthinking by your own definition?
I'll go. So, just taking a second to think about it. Whenever I was thinking about it, I come to terms to think that overthinking is when you're not present and your focus is on whatever you're thinking about at the moment. So that is overthinking. The thoughts can go and, well, your thoughts should come and go. But if you latch onto them with your focus, they stay and you build on them. So I would say overthinking is focusing on not the present.
Wow, you just inspired my answer, Key. Overthinking to me, I'm gonna take the route of a scenario. I read it from a book somewhere. You guys probably recognize it, but you're driving on the road. Your girlfriend has a blue Mustang, and you see a blue Mustang drive by you, and you start to wonder, is that my girlfriend? Was she with somebody? Is there another guy in the car? And you just start to think all these things that could be happening, but are they really happening? And is that even your girlfriend? That car could have just been a blue Mustang that drove by, but instead you latched on to the thought and you started thinking about everything else. And just that attachment to the thought and the feelings that come with it, that's what overthinking is to me.
Overthinking is when your brother's across the table talking about the blue Mustang and you're thinking about your answer next.
That's funny. I thought the same shit. I thought a key.
That's overthinking. But overthinking is whenever you're stuck in your own head and you go down a rabbit hole of straight thinking and you can't separate what's in your mind versus what's real. And what's in your mind feels real. And you suffer.
Look like you're going through it saying that too, bro. All right. To me, overthinking is catching a thought that comes, making a story out of it, and then believing the story and keeping it going.
It's like a chain link. You just keep adding to the chain, and you should have let it go before it ties you to the ground. You know what I mean? So,
Did you guys know that your brain actually can't decipher what's real and what's not real? So whatever you think about, your brain actually believes that it's happening.
Dude, Diary of a CEO is this guy's Bible now. But yeah.
You knew that already?
yeah. I mean, in a different way,
extent.
though.
Yeah.
Like, from a different standpoint. Because
Like a
when you say that,
manifestation standpoint.
yeah, like, you are your thoughts, so it becomes real. You know what I mean? From that standpoint. That makes sense. You added another perspective to that.
Okay. Let's dive into our personal overthinking. Can anybody think of the last time that they know they overthought something? Even the smallest thing.
All right. At a coffee shop earlier, and I'm trying to build a landing page for a journal, and I'm changing the same sentence like 3 times, trying to make it the perfect sentence, when I should probably let it be and move on and keep on constructing a landing page and then go back when my mind is more fresh after I took a break and reword it better. But instead, I keep doing the same thing. Call me insane.
Did everybody get their eyebrows done?
Like a week ago.
Oh.
We're just handsome, bro.
All right.
The fine girl wasn't there, though.
My bad. Should have just said that up front.
All right, you made me think of something. And this could sound like one of those podcasts where they're trying to make some fucking new thing, but it sounds like, in your case, overthinking is trying to perfect a scenario. In any instance.
I just made a gooey noise as you talked, and that's funny if I picked it up. But yeah, kind of. Perfectionism could be overthinking. Yeah.
I think it literally
form of
is
it.
actually.
Yeah.
I had the last time I overthought was today, and I think all of y'all can relate to this. I had a call with the founder of Inside the Out. It's that journal company. It's the company that started as a journal, if you've ever heard of it.
Soon to be competitive, yeah.
Soon to be competitive. There's no competition, man.
Yeah.
There's abundance. But so me and her had like a 1 hour yap sesh, and we just told each other our stories, and we yapped it up, man. We talked about relationships. We talked about just our personal journeys, and we also talked about the business journey. And it was a very insightful conversation. But after that call, I was meditating, and my mind kept going to things that I said, and wondering if I came across right, and wondering if she understood what I was trying to say, or if she thought it was weird. But then I reminded myself, she's doing the exact same thing after this call. She didn't give a fuck about what I said. She's just caring about what she said. And when I say she didn't give a fuck, I mean, she's not holding any judgment against anyone but her own self, just like I am. And I would say that is the most recent time I've overthought something, most prominent.
What made you get that? Like, what little realizations did you have to be like, okay, never mind?
As in, what made me realize that I'm just overthinking and that it doesn't matter?
Yeah, what got you out of that rabbit hole of thought?
I just remembered. It just came to my mind that, wow, she's probably doing the same thing right now.
Yeah.
Because we didn't just talk about business. We talked about personal stuff, too. So I think when you talk about personal stuff, there's always the thoughts after.
Yeah, the thoughts are coming off the way you wanted to,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll say my example of something I've been overthink. Probably like what my next step is on like the how do you word it, like next step of where I put my energy. So like sometimes, let's say you're planning out something, you'll overplan it before you do it, and you end up freezing yourself. So it's kind of like when they say you should always take that first step before trying to plan out the next 5, because then you'll get stuck on the next 5, and then the person who just is synergized with themselves, they're already stepping. So that's probably my how I got out of it was just realizing to pick my feet up instead of using my brain, you know what I mean? Sorry, I know I didn't speak English right there, but using my brain, my brain won't get me there physically, it'll get me there mentally, and I need to be there physically. So picking up my feet.
What exactly was it? What was the context?
Like even with like getting work done or making content for you or myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I would say I really relate to that, especially when it comes to designing the podcast. Mm-hmm. When I was designing the logo or anything, I kept reminding myself that it doesn't have to be perfect right now, and that I could just do what I'm thinking right now, and then if I want to come back to it and make it better, I can.
You can.
So that's what I was thinking about, because I know you manage the social medias for the pod. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, could that be something that you're overthinking?
I feel like it's something I'm anticipating overthinking, but remind myself what I just said will help.
Okay.
I think a good example of overthinking is planning, and then planning again, and then planning again, and then planning again, like you said, without even taking that first step. Like, what's a good example? Give me an example.
The community.
Yeah. Well, give me a good example to say in the pod.
All right, so you thought of 10 different things the community could be, when in reality, you just have to put the idea out there, and then you'll get feedback immediately, like we did. Like, it failed immediately. It would have failed regardless of what we did, because we didn't have any strategy other than what's in the community, what is it? And, planned out like 10 different things. Really, it was inspiration. You had inspiration to do 10 different things, whatever's in the community. And then eventually, when it was like 2 months later, and then you dropped the community, it would have probably failed on day 1 anyways, and you would have been 2 months ahead if you just took the step.
Yeah.
That's very true. That reminds me of the card game. How deep would you go? If you guys see the card game, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it on the table.
That one's not in stock. This one's in stock.
Yeah, you're right. It might be in stock at some point, but whenever we started How Deep Will You Go, we could have overthought every little thing, as in, like, we had no fucking idea how to find manufacture or how to design the card game or anything like that. But we just started doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, design the card game and it's black and white.
Well, we're not expert designers. We're expert emotional connecting people, so it's whatever.
Yeah, facts.
But honestly, literally what I did is I hit up, I think his name is Wes. He has a card game. It's called Let's Get Real, Bro. And I was like, yo, what do you use? And I just used it.
Nice.
Yeah, but then your margins are fucking shit for like a year straight.
He spilled the sauce?
Yeah.
Nice. What a guy.
Well,
he didn't overthink it. He just gave you the sauce.
he said he started with MPC because you can make custom quantities. And then he went to a manufacturer. I think he might be with AdMagic, actually.
Really?
Potentially. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. What's in the box was overthought like a motherfucker.
Really?
You don't remember having meetings all the time and like at the end of it, 2 questions will be gone, 1 will be added.
Yeah.
Yo, this brings me to think, though. Is sometimes overthinking kind of good? Because of that trim and stack thing we kept doing at every meeting. We were trimming questions that we thought were good 2 weeks ago and adding new ones that we think are better. And we did that over and over again until we had 90 questions and some amount of wild cards.
Of a statement. Remember what you said the other day, last Wednesday, about being scared to fail? Refining it doesn't make it any better because, like, if you just failed at first, it's still gonna get better. You refining before the action just withhold the product longer, the product of whatever you're doing. So like, you just go ahead and fail, you already started. The train is going. So
Exactly how Connection Club?
yeah,
Or not,
Well,
Core Club. Our
Whatever it
community.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think though, the difference is structured overthinking. That's what I would call it. Because it's technically overthinking when you drop how deep will you go and you change your landing page every week. Because you're trying to make good ads, you're trying to make the landing page right, trying to make the verbiage right, trying to make rhetoric stand out to people. And that's overthinking, but it's structured overthinking. Because you're taking a step, iterating, overthinking that shit, but you still have a structured plan to like, okay, press like update. Like it updates in real life.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a question for you, just off the rip of what you just said. Would you say marketing in a whole is a bunch of overthinking in a good way? Or not even in a good way, just overthinking?
Yeah, but it's like emotionally detached overthinking. Like it's kind of technically what marketing should be is ins and outs. So if I try an ad concept and it doesn't work, that's not me overthinking. That's like, okay, that didn't work. That's a no.
That's you being present. That's the opposite. Taking action and then fixing it as you go.
Yeah.
Adapting.
But I think I know what he's saying. Like when you're writing a script, no understanding what could work. You're saying like all that's overthinking.
When you're writing a script, you think of which hook out of the 7 that are in my mind should be here. And then you do pick the right one because you're a good marketer. And then you think of, okay, that word should probably be changed to fit the branding of our brand.
That's structured overthinking. You started with 7 and then you change it to fit the brand because you know you're going to do that.
Yeah, so
I think overthinking would be like you don't even have a fuck ton. You just keep writing down more and more and more and more. And you don't pick the best ones.
So marketing is overthinking.
Structured overthinking.
Yo, I kind of want to come at it at a different angle real quick. I think the audience listening to this, the number one thing they're overthinking is probably with girls or boys, whether they're girls or boys or whatever. They're just overthinking with relationships and that in a whole. So
That is true. We went down some nerdy ass
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
let's touch on that topic. And I can go ahead and start by saying that I actually learned how to not overthink a while ago, like a little bit over a year ago. And you guys know, with my girlfriend, I didn't really overthink anything in the beginning. And I would just take action before I could even think about it. And in my opinion, that's the best way to avoid overthinking, is to do something before you can start overthinking about it.
What do you mean take action? Like what are things you would do without thinking about it?
The number one thing that comes to my mind, which is just really bold, is the day that me and her went on our first date, which is the second day I've ever really hung out with her and gotten to know her. But we went back to the Airbnb that night after we got food, and I needed a shower. And I was like, do you want to shower with me? And like, I've known this girl for like one night. And so I could have overthought that and be like, no, it's not weird. Like, I'm just a weird fuck who asked her. But I literally thought about it and I was like, fuck it. You want to shower with me? And she said no. She was like, maybe tomorrow. And it wasn't weird because
This guy's weird.
I just pushed past, it was just bold. And so that would be my number one way that I pushed past overthinking and overcame it.
You can continue what you were saying though, because I kind of got you in a hole of talking about something.
You got something else to say?
Did you have a question? Oh, yeah, you had.
I was gonna add on.
You gonna rip?
Rip?
You gonna rip off?
Yeah,
Go
I mean,
ahead.
maybe. But I was just thinking about my personal experience with girls and like how it's changed. And I've been talking about that recently because like it's me. My interaction with girls is like very. I'm not scared to like like at first I'd be like overthinking hanging out, blah blah blah. But like if I want to hang out with a girl, I'll just ask. Or like if I let's say hit up a girl, be like, oh, I think you cute, blah blah blah. Let's hang out. I would have been like, nah, I'm overthinking it. Like, she might not want to hang out. I got this to do. If I just do it, or she might just say no. Stop. I need to be in the moment, which is what I'm doing now. It's like just like, hey, you want to do something? You want to go hang out, go get some food, and they'd be like, yes or no. I'm avoiding pain. If I'm avoiding pain, well, I'm overthinking. But yeah, that's tied in what I was saying. But I am living what we're talking about right now. Like looking back in my past, I'm like, there was so many chances I could hang out with girls because the girls that I do ask, they say yeah. I didn't ever do it until now. You know what I mean?
So basically, you were a bitch until now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was anybody else a bitch? I was a bitch. And
I mean, obviously, bro.
I don't know.
Everybody was at one point.
Well, yeah, probably. It's been a while.
I'm probably still a bitch now, technically.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Like, you obviously overthink. Well, I'm overthinking something.
Yeah, I can share a very like either unrelatable or heavily relatable way I used to overthink in my relationship, and I'm building up curiosity. Anyways,
And before I knew this,
yeah, I was gonna finish that, but never mind. I used to overthink buying flowers. I used to go to Publix. I would like go to Publix, and I'd probably be going there for myself, like buy something. And then you walk past the flowers, and then I'm looking at them, and I'm like, that'd be nice. She wasn't really nice to me today, though. And then, like, I don't know if she'll appreciate it because I just got her some 3 days ago. And then I got her some the day before that. So, like, I wonder if that's, like, too often. And then, like, I've already bought these ones before, but these ones are $40, and I have $60, and I don't want to spend $40. But then I bought these ones already. And then I don't even know if she's going to be home before I am. So then they're just going to be there, and it's not going to be a surprise anymore. It's just going to be there. And then now I withdraw myself out of buying flowers.
really?
Yeah.
I did not expect that to be the route you took.
yeah, that's funny, bro.
I thought it would just be like overthinking which flowers to buy.
That too. But yeah.
It's a plethora of more. That's funny as
Yeah.
fuck.
Like severe overthinking.
Wow, dude. Now, anybody else got some story like that?
I know that sniff was loud as hell.
I don't have a big story, but like, y'all ever be in line about to order food and you're like going through the menu in your head and you get the same shit every fucking time, but you're still going through the menu in your head. You do that?
Dude, yeah.
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 Like going to a coffee shop and like looking at the menu, knowing damn well you're gonna get a vanilla latte.
Yeah.
With oat
Yeah,
milk.
fact.
I'll be looking for something to change my mind because I don't want to, but like at the same time I want to.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Well,
let's
there's
have,
sugar in that.
I got a question.
What's up?
What would be the opposite word for overthinking?
Presence.
Presence. Well, I would say. Would you say that? I thought you were gonna say. I
the
thought you were gonna oppose.
Literal opposite is just not thinking.
That's funny. The
Yeah.
practical opposite.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, to me, from what we just said about girls, it's a very masculine trait to not overthink. So being present is a very masculine trait because girls don't want. Because girls overthink. Not saying you should overthink, and that's a girl quality, but that's everybody's bad quality. But being present is very masculine because like you take charge of what you want. You take what you want. You do what you want. And if they don't want to do that, you just change route. You know?
Key, I got a question for you, man. You're talking about how you're not scared to ask to hang out anymore. Mm-hmm. Help the boys out, man. How can they get over that overthinking and the fears of asking their crush or whoever they like, whoever they're into, to hang out?
Okay. I'm going to start off by saying there's no method. There's no step. There's no thought process beforehand. To me, if you're trying to think about tactics to do something that you already want to do, the main thing you need to do is just do it. And just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just go ahead and do it.
Okay,
what
but they
do
know
you
that-
say?
What do you say? I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Like, it depends on what's your goal. If whatever your goal is, you just ask what that is. If you want to go on a date, be like, hey, I want to hang out. I want to go on a date. I want to go eat. You want to go eat? You want to go chill, or you want to. Let's say you want to just hang out. You'd be like, I thought you were cool. You want to go hang out or something like that. That's
All
all
right,
right.
I gotta be devil's advocate.
Okay.
What about the percentage of no's you get because you say you want to hang out versus using a method where it's like, do you want to hang out here? When are you free? And then that would get a higher conversion rate.
Well, I would say just don't think past that step.
Before you take it?
Yeah, before what?
Like before you even take the step, it's like planning 5 steps.
Yeah,
before.
just think about, okay, I want to take it here, then do that.
Okay.
If you don't know and you're thinking for hours trying to figure out what you want to do, then just go ahead and just pop the question to see if you can even get
Honestly,
in there.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah.
So
This guy just said the success of a date was conversion rate.
Yo, so Key, I'm gonna put myself in like somebody's shoes that's hesitant to ask a girl to hang out. So I have this girl I like, her name's Jo, and I'm in town, and I want to ask to hang out, but I haven't talked to her in months, or I don't even know if she likes me. It seems like she likes me. It seems like she might flirt, but I can't tell if it's flirting or if it's friendly. I want to ask her to hang out. What do I say?
Do you want to hang out?
yeah, basically, it's like your mind wants to figure out a route to make it easier, but it's not easy.
But I don't want to be weird because if she says no, then I'm not gonna like hit her up because it's just weird.
That
It'd be
means you
weird to
think
see
you're
her.
weird. That means you think your thoughts are weird. How you would say it is weird.
Okay, well, how do I not be
good
weird?
one.
So, how do you not be weird? You realize that you're not weird. You recognize it. You know who you are. You got like if you're thinking I'm gonna say something weird, then you must think you say things that are weird.
So are you telling me that whenever I think she might think I'm weird, I'm really just a reflection of what I think about myself onto
Yes.
her?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay.
So, even if you think you are weird, some girls are weird. Some girls like that goofy side of you. So you're just overthinking that also.
So I
Just
should
take the
just do it?
chance.
Just
You're
do it?
avoiding being you.
But what if we're not like cool after? What if she doesn't want to be friends with me?
It wasn't meant to be.
Okay. But what
Dude.
if I don't even know if I like her? I just find her attractive.
You're still taking the steps to find that out by asking her if you want to hang out.
But I don't want to lose her as a friend.
If she stopped talking to you after trying to hang out and she thinks you're weird, you're better off not being friends with her.
Yeah, because you found out sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because regardless,
You
if she said no this time, she wasn't even going to say yes
Yeah.
regardless.
Dude, the best piece of advice I can give you is to send her a huge paragraph on why you want to hang out with her. No, seriously though. Actually, about him saying just want to hang out. Like whenever he said like, I think that was you who said like, what should I say?
Well,
I
see-
think the first like, if you have the thought, I want to hang out with this person, and then you go to your text and like, you're wondering what to say. The thing you should say is like just the thing that came to mind. Like that thing could be weird or not, but it's more weird when you overthink it and still send something weird.
Did your teacher ever tell you, like any teacher at my third grade, it always stuck with me. And when you're taking a test and, you're like overthinking on the test, and she was like, sometimes, like, let's say you're going over the test where she's like, I was like, oh, I thought I was going to pick that. She's like, your first answer that comes to mind is always your best answer.
Yes, they always said that. Your first instinct's usually right.
Yes. So,
Sorry, bro. I don't know if I believe that in school because I did that a lot and I still got those wrong.
Yeah, I definitely
But-
split tested that a few
mean-
times, didn't work.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
Okay, I have a hot take I want to bring to you guys. Everybody's opinion. You guys know the most popular thing with a relationship, the most popular issue is a girlfriend having guy friends and a guy friend having girlfriends. Is it valid to overthink that? If you're a man and you have a girl that you're in a relationship with and she has guy friends, is it valid to overthink?
My first thought is a little different. It's the idea that when you're overthinking it, that's probably because you never set the boundary anyways, and she doesn't even know the boundary.
yeah.
But if you set the boundary, she crosses the boundary, that's more of a conversation to have than you being deserving of overthinking the situation.
Yeah. You're focused on agreeing to something that you already know you don't like, so you're putting yourself through pain when you already had that boundary in your head. You just didn't tell her.
So are you saying the fact that I haven't brought that up is like me basically agreeing to it without saying it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
being a bitch.
Okay, and I'm just a pussy.
Yeah.
So how do I not be a pussy?
I was just gonna have a question. Is that something you just randomly bring up one day? Oh, I don't like guy friends with my girlfriend. So
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
just
have guy
about to
friends.
say,
Well,
how do you
or-
create that boundary?
If she says I want to go hang out with my guy friends, be like, well, now that you say it is a, like, I never been in that situation. Well, I actually have. I'm not going to say that.
You've been in the worst situation.
Yeah,
You've
I
been
actually
the guy
have been in
friend.
that situation, but I had trust, so I wasn't really overthinking. And if I overthinked, I just told myself I shouldn't. And if I didn't want her to do it, I wouldn't have let her, or I would have told her I didn't want it. I'm not gonna control her, but like I would have told her I don't want to do that, and that's the boundary.
Hey, Beezy, in that situation, even though your trust was tainted, you still got a better outcome than if you overthought it and it still happened.
Yeah.
Because then you're suffering and then you suffer when it happens. But
Yeah.
you just at peace and then it happened and you suffered.
And then if anything that happened that you overthought, and if it actually happened, that means you know that you were right in that situation. It's delayed effect, and like just people I ain't call it. It's people that would avoid putting their girl in that situation, but in reality, you're just keeping her from doing what she was going to do regardless, and that's her true colors.
Okay.
Brandon,
Okay. I have a take. You asked the question of how would you go about that communicating? Do you just bring it up one day? I'm kind of a communication guy, so what I've learned is you have to meet people at the level they're at. And by the way, this works for almost anything in life. Ads, a text, how you talk to old people. You don't say, yo, bro. You say, like, hey, sir, because that's the level they're at. So I think when it's your girl and there's a boundary that's been unsaid and you're overthinking this guy, she's not overthinking it in that moment. She might be. And so if you bring it up as you are overthinking, there's going to be a disconnect. She's like, what the fuck is your problem? And then you're like, I just feel like you have all these guy friends and you're just going to fuck me over.
And my little high bitch voice.
Yeah.
With question marks at the end.
Yeah, don't talk with question marks in the end. But how you meet somebody at the level they're at is they're chilling. They're about to go hang out with the guy friend. You're like, hey, babe, I'm overthinking. Hey, babe, there's a boundary that I haven't set with you because I know you're about to hang out with your guy friends. You're meeting them at the level they're at. And she's probably going to assume that anyways, but you come at it where she's at. You don't be stressing the fuck out because she's not stressing the fuck out. Even if she was stressing the fuck out, you wouldn't stress the fuck out anyways.
okay, what if the most popular response that a girl's gonna have is, "You're being insecure"? What do you say to
Being
that?
so insecure.
Why are you insecure?
I don't want you having any guy friends.
That's a good thing. I don't know. What would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
You just stand your ground, stand on business, literally. Just be like, I told you how I feel, and if you think that's insecure, then I get that, but that's how I feel, and I don't feel comfortable with you hanging out with guys.
I
Would
gotta
that
like.
create tension?
Huh?
Would that create tension?
It would. However, you're not going to solve that issue right there because she's reacting out of emotion. If a girl says you're just being insecure, especially in the you're being insecure, like they're 100% reacting out of emotion.
Okay.
You said you have them?
Yeah. Thought went in present. My thought just flew away.
Hey, brother, we're trained to think that's a bad thing. We're trained to go, hold that thought. No, brother, if it goes away, it's good.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be said at that moment.
It's a
It'll
solid
come back
thought,
if it,
though.
Brandon,
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
been
that-
wanting to ask you this since we brought this up. I remember whenever you were in a relationship, you would always preach, I'm not going to tell my girl what the fuck to do. She's going to do whatever she want. And if she fucks me over, then she fucks me over. And if I'm trying to stop that, then that's just me stopping from the truth. So I want to know your thoughts. Can your girlfriend have guy friends and hang out with them?
I'd like to develop my thoughts before I talk, but I'll try to talk. Just develop
I
them.
give you time. I want to build on that.
We'll just sit here.
But they're gonna click off.
I got
They
something to
won't.
say.
I've never clicked off whenever Diver CEO went in silence because I knew a fucking banger was coming up.
All right. Oh wait. Yes, me. Anyways.
That was funny.
Ask the question again, so it's fresh in my mind.
All right, I want to know. Your answer doesn't have to be perfect. I want to know. Can your girlfriend have guy friends? Can they hang out and do whatever they want, like you always told me? And if they do something, then they're gonna do it anyways. What's your stance on that now? Can your girlfriend have guy friends?
I'm gonna backtrack this to boundaries. I used to think that you shouldn't have boundaries because, kind of like what Kevon said, if they're gonna do something, they're gonna do it. Your boundary is just a wall stopping them from walking that path.
Which is facts.
Yeah, but I developed a different viewpoint on boundaries. I was like, I cheated on. And I don't think a boundary would have prevented getting cheated on. I just think, like, going through that and coming out the other end, it allowed me to have a different realization about, like, what boundaries really are. I think, I want to say, like, the first thought I have is boundaries is self-respect. It's not being insecure. It's not, like, if you have a boundary that you don't want your girl to have guy friends, instead of it being you're insecure about what you're going to do with guys, it's more like, I don't know what it's more like. Dude, I had that thought about boundaries like a month or two ago. I probably wrote it down too.
Are you talking about the actual meaning behind your boundary that you have?
Yeah, like, I used to think it was having boundaries was preventing something or kind of being insecure and not just trusting everything, which I kind of like. Everything's just perspective at the end of the day. That could be true. I don't know. It's just perspective. But I gained a different perspective. But I'm back on this perspective.
Bro, I'm burning to finish your thought.
For me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because you said you kind of lost it, but tell me if this is around where you were thinking. But a boundary for me, if I don't want my girl hanging out with other guys, the boundary is not there because I'm afraid she's going to do something. It's because whether she knows it or not, she's giving her energy that isn't meant for them. It's supposed to be meant for me. And she's giving her intimate energy to other men and not me. And I don't mean intimate as in sexual. I just mean intimate. Like if you're having a very deep conversation with another guy, that energy is honestly, in my opinion, supposed to be only shared with your partner, with your man.
I can probably get behind that.
I had something to build on that. There's a question. So would that be like, I'm looking for a better word, like caging her from expanding her mental? Because like you're the only outlet of a dude. She gets to expand her mind too.
When a woman commits, she commits.
I mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't, but I'm saying like, I was thinking like just even people. Like if my mom never let me go outside to around certain people, or even conversate. Let's just say conversate, because some things need to be boundaries for kids. But like certain people, you learn from them. So if I was just learning from my mom, I would only know what my mom knows.
You asked me, am I stopping her from learning from other guys?
Yeah, but like not the same things, different things. We're all different people. We have something to give from each person. Yeah. So would it be like her mind wouldn't be expanding on the mental aspect of like from a dude's perspective on yours?
I mean, the answer is probably yes, but if she's learning from another guy, that means the other guy's leading her. Who the fuck am I to let another guy lead my woman?
Oh, well, I feel like if my girl's letting another man lead her, it depends on the girl. Like if my girl's letting another man lead her, then she should know better than that. That's what she should know. Like who is on top of who, like where you rank the dudes you're talking to. He's the leader, but like in a friend, I'm coming for friend. But it depends on what they're asking. It depends what they're talking about. A deep conversation is what I'm thinking about though. Like if there's a deep conversation with a dude, he lives a whole different life than me. He could have put her on game about something that's more relatable than I would. And I could still share mine, but like it would be more like she can come back and teach me something from something she learned from them.
Sure.
So
I do have a thought. That's like a big question. That was actually a good. I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate, but that was a pretty good take. Isn't that just the sacrifice you make? Because you could think, damn, I'm preventing her from learning, but maybe that's a sacrifice, right?
Yeah,
I would say it's preference, honestly.
I think an example is there's literally thousands of business opportunities you can take, vehicles you can ride to make a lot of money. Everyone chooses one that actually makes it big.
you're right. You can learn from.
Buddy, this is not.
Let me mute my mic, man. Oh my god.
Just cut Cody out.
Crop this dude.
What I'm trying to say is, are you saying that you could do all these other avenues that you'll learn from each of them, but if you don't take one, none of them will be successful? And you're kind of relaying that over into a relationship.
Yeah, like I think it puts a pretty nice ribbon on that thought.
That's a beautiful way to put it, actually.
But I have like the boundary take actually came back to mind. It's not the full perspective I gained because whenever I thought about it, I literally was mind blown that I had this newfound perspective of what a boundary is. But part of it is setting boundaries. I'm gonna rephrase how I was saying earlier. Setting boundaries isn't showing your insecurity, and it isn't that. Like, it's not insecurity. It's giving your girl the respect for you. Like, subconsciously, she has more respect for you when you actually do have boundaries. If you have a boundary that she knows not to like go out to the club by herself or hang out in person with guy friends, and she like agrees with them, she has a higher level of respect for you than if you had none of that. If you were like, she can do whatever she wants, I know she's not gonna do anything. She doesn't have that much respect for you subconsciously because you don't hold a standard for her.
That also means you're not leading her.
Yeah, like that's a part, and that's the only reason I'm gonna set boundaries in my next relationship, because I can instantly shut that off and be like, dude, if she's gonna cheat on me, she's going to, and I will find out. Truth comes out. Like, that is a perspective I do hold. But I think for my girl to have the chance to respect me a lot more, I would actually have boundaries on things that I'm not completely comfortable with. Okay.
Well,
So that's the change in perspective, Cody.
To me, what my difference is, where I stand is like who I pick to even take that chance with. Because like if she doesn't know how not to do certain things and why, like if not go walk, like go to the club you said by herself.
Yeah,
I was saying that.
By herself, then I that makes me reevaluate who I'm with.
She did that, by the way.
No,
To the club? Seville, but yeah, I mean, club.
That's the club.
Yeah.
But like if she had a good reason, not no just like invalid reason, then I would let her explore the reason. Because in my head, I would. And if I look at my perspective, I was in switch shoes. It makes sense if I'm gaining something from that. And even with the dude friend thing, I would ask my girl like, what do you get from the relationship, or like what is that relationship to you?
Friendship.
Not just a friendship. You got friends for different reasons, and you got friends that give you certain things.
Oh, like what do you get out of them?
Yeah, like how did they add to you?
Yeah.
If they're just there to be there, then it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Then at that point, it's like you're adding in that danger zone. It makes me think about that. That's something how I would think about it.
Okay. Brennan and Cody, I have a question for both of you, and probably Key, but you didn't make me think of it though. Does she have to know these perspectives that you have? Do you have to tell her this to get her on your side with it, or is she just naturally compatible like that?
I instantly have the thought of when you are naturally compatible, which may be a perspective. Like, you know what I mean? Some people probably think there's no such thing, another whatever. I'm just going to say, if you're naturally compatible, the conversation will probably have already come up. You probably naturally talk about that. And you naturally understand each other.
Okay, can you say the question one more time?
Okay. The perspective that you have, for example, yours was giving energy to another man. Does Joe need to know that perspective to be able to respect it and abide by it?
No. I think she's not blindly led. However, whenever you have so much trust in your partner, in your person, she has so much trust in me and my conviction and what I say that I don't have to have the facts out yet, because she just trusts the feelings that I have and how I feel. And I have great intentions in mind for her. I will say at the beginning, it might take some convincing. And even now, like, if there's something I don't like and she doesn't necessarily see it, she won't do it, but she just won't understand it. So she'll have some tension towards it, but just because I don't like it, she won't do it. And she'll take the time and listen and try to understand it.
So is the solution then, at the end of the day, communication?
Yeah, the solution. So if there's like, let's just give the example of your girl going to the club by herself or with her friends. Personally,
Herself's crazy as fuck.
That's crazy as hell.
Personally, nobody goes to the fucking club by themselves.
Yeah, what the hell? She's lying if she said that.
Yeah, dude, but
I've been solo before.
I didn't like that.
A girl would never go solo.
That is true.
Oh, there's probably some. For your case.
Down bad. I didn't like that she went to the club with her friends, and that's something that I communicated pretty early on. It wasn't like exactly right when we got together or anything, so she went maybe once or twice. But whenever I communicated it, she listened and she didn't go, but she still didn't understand why. She didn't feel the conviction that I felt, but I felt the conviction. And I was just convicted in it, and I said, that's how I feel. I don't feel comfortable with it. And yeah, like that. With that, she listened. She didn't understand. She listened. She felt tension. We would bring it up pretty often, and eventually we just got to a consensus that, okay, I agree. It's probably not a great idea for me to go with my friends.
What do you think her friends thought?
I don't know. I don't think she ever really brought it up. I think she would just say no, she doesn't want to.
Okay. That's an overthinker's question.
But one sec.
Bro's been itching.
Yeah.
Literally.
Was campus finna explode?
I don't know what her friends thought. However, if they were in a relationship, they probably wouldn't go to the club. So that kind of just tells you, like, if they're all single and they're like, why can't you go to the club? Watch them get into a fucking relationship and stop coming to the club with you.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say like the environment of like
Why is Bo
leading.
yelling?
Also, like, you know, I have some people that say you shouldn't lead with fear or like, you know, even the thing with like whooping your kids, like that's pain. You showing them something, you're forcing them to do something, and that's your way of leading. Or that you can do it with grace, and you can tell them why and explain why, and then they can either take your advice or not. They can get burned by what happens afterwards, or you could be learned. You can learn something new. So like with me, if my girl said she wanted to go to the club, and I'm gonna explain to her why I don't want her to go, but I'm gonna let her go, and hopefully from what I shared with her, she'll see all the examples of what I said, and she'll be like, okay, he was right. Like you just said, like she'll know not to go. So that's the way. And she's not on a leash, you know? Like she gets to walk and go, and she comes back as she please. And if she gets taken while she's gone, that's just a sign that I shouldn't have, even that was not my dog, you know what I mean?
I got a hot take.
And I
bro.
hate that. I'm not trying to say girls are dogs.
I have a fucking hot take, bro.
I'm trying to say don't be a dog.
I have a hot take. There's a difference between forcing somebody to not do something and them having respect for you to not do it, even if they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if you tell your girl you don't want her going to the club with her friends or without you, and she goes anyways, she's disrespecting you.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
So,
what I was gonna say, like, is that are you saying it without explanation, or are you just saying don't?
honestly, if you say don't and you have no fucking reason at all, and you just be like, I just don't want you to. Like,
But,
you might just have FOMO.
What if you have a reason, but you just don't share?
You have a reason, but you don't share. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you share the reason?
You just say you just don't feel like it. You don't feel like explaining. You just feel like she should listen without, like you said, without.
Oh, I mean, my girl's not a fucking dog, so if I tell her I don't like something, she's not gonna be like, okay, I won't ever do it. Like, she'll be like, okay, but can you tell me why?
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to answer
Probably a
that.
toxic trait if you don't say why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, if you like, don't do that, like, you kind of having a little power trip, bro.
Yeah. Like think about little kids you get pissed at, and you're like, stop doing that. You don't even feel like telling them why because you're mad at them.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the dudes, not me, but some dudes will just be like, nah, I just don't want you to, because they don't feel like it.
They might be insecure about the reason too.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That's a different podcast though.
I definitely felt hesitant.
Dude, I got a final thought on this topic. You brought me back to like how I used to feel when my girl did, or it was just like one time she did go to the club with her friends. I did not give a fuck.
Good girl.
Yeah, I literally did not like. You know, at party was like why does she want to go to the club? That's weird. But like when I had like full trust, and also I was like, if I was in Tallahassee with my boys, I would want to go to the club if they're going to the club. I wouldn't want to riz on any girls. I wouldn't want to get any ass thrown on me. I would just want to go to the club with my boys. It's fun. And so I had that same like perspective in mind. I'm like, maybe she literally wants to go to the club with the girls, drink a little bit, dance with them. Maybe I'm delusional as fuck. But I'm thinking like in my shoes, I might sound toxic. I would want my girl to be okay with me going to the club with my boys because I myself had the respect for both myself and her and the relationship.
And you know that.
Yeah, and like the me that used to be single and go to the club and actually want to go because there's girls there, that's shut off now. I'm like, I just want to go because my boys are going, and I like that.
Yeah,
So that's what made me like. I was like, I don't really care. Like, just go ahead.
I also had a thought, like a thing.
After you, I want to add to that.
Okay. Like about the respect thing, is like, I would want my girl to like respect me enough to respect me when I'm not there. So like, let's say like, you know, not, you know how some girls will entertain a dude that's trying to get to him, but they got a girl. Like
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
egg it
Brandon
on.
knows a lot about that shit.
Yeah. so like they'll do that. I would not want to, like, you know, I would prefer her. I would like love if she was like, no, I don't talk. Compared to like me saying, just don't go over there. You know what I mean? Because that really shows like I don't have to think for her at the same time. She's smart herself.
That's valid. But also, sometimes a woman doesn't even realize.
Well, I'm saying if I put her on game, I'm not going to send her out in the field without putting her on game.
Okay, so you're telling her, like, you teach her something, and then she practices.
Like, dudes will do this, dudes will do this. This is what this means, this is what this means. And I wouldn't like you to do that. And if she does that without me having to say, just don't go around that. Like if there's a group, if there's like a school event and there's going to be a lot of dudes, I'm not going to say, I wouldn't want you going, because let's say that I know I know there's dudes out there spitting. I say I wouldn't want you going, but like I trust you. And like she comes back and she tells me all the dudes that try to hit her and she didn't like, fold. That that would make me so like euphoric and high. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, BG. In that you said you would tell her when dudes do this, it means this. Dudes do this, it means this. That reminds me of overthinking, but it brought up the question: at what point is overthinking and knowledge just different?
I was thinking
If you got to think about it.
Are you overthinking about it?
No, it's just, I just know. Like I can go off of just experience. So what have I done? What I've done.
I think those are two completely different things, honestly. Like overthinking and knowledge.
I'm thinking of like, okay, they did this, so that means this. That's overthinking itself.
What if you done that though? That they done. I'm not saying every dude. I'm not gonna tell her every dude's gonna do this. I'm saying if a dude does come up to you, there's a possibility if he says this line that he's trying to get.
And
at
let's
you.
be real, bro. We're guys.
Yes,
we
we
know
know.
what we do.
And it's a little different from the guy perspective because like it's either yes or no. Like what we do, it's not no like little gray area.
I think Austin's speaking outside of that. Like he's just saying in general, what is like that line between overthinking and then I'm gonna word it productive thinking. Let's just word it that way.
Overthinking could be you talking back and forth with your inner dialogue. And then thinking could be realizing that it's just inner dialogue. How do you feel about that?
Say that one more time, please.
His inner dialogue was in the way.
Overthinking is having the conversation with your inner dialogue, and thinking is just having the awareness that it is inner dialogue and you don't really interact with it.
Sounds like awareness.
I would say like
Awareness shifts consciousness.
I would say
Random.
I don't know how to answer that, but I would say inner dialogue moves you forward or backwards. Overthinking is standing in place. So if you're just thinking about what you're thinking about, that would be you thinking about your inner dialogue and what is it talking about overanalyzing your inner dialogue.
I kind of disagree a little bit because overthinking also goes into rabbit holes. You don't just get stuck. You start to believe some very weird fucking story because you went deeper and deeper.
I think that's what like I don't know a word to put in front of overthinking, but like true overthinking is like, and for me is what I said earlier. You can't separate what's just in your mind and what's like real.
Yeah.
There's so much emotion attached to a reality that you've constructed in your mind that's not even actual reality. Like the situation is completely different than the way your mind sees it.
Guess we're all just schizophrenic, bro.
Well, I was gonna say the reason I said that was because with inner dialogue, you either, let's say whatever you're talking about, it's either like you're about to do something, or you're planning, or what was another thing I was gonna say, about to do something, or like it was something else. It was
was overthinking out loud.
like no, I'm stuck at a thought.
That's overthinking.
But yeah, the reason I said you either moving forward or backwards is because like, let's say whatever inner dialogue, you're finna apply something to something. If it's like I'm finna go eat, you're gonna go eat. Overthinking would be that's your inner dialogue. You thought of that, you said that in your head. Overthinking would be like, I'm finna go eat. I don't know what to eat. What should I eat? Questioning what you just did. So it's always an output to your inner dialogue. It's always something happening from the inner dialogue. If it's you about to say something, I'm finna, like, even if it's not an action, it's like a verbal action. And like, I say that out loud. And then overthinking wouldn't allow me to say it out loud. Or send me through a loophole.
This make me realize I'm a huge overthinker. The like going to eat part, every single time I ever eat, I'm like, what am I gonna eat? I ate that recently. Is this open? I don't know if I want it that much. It's kind of expensive for today.
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
Like extra $2.
Yeah, type shit.
Fucking.
Yo, student, I actually had the perfect segue for what you were saying before. And the segue into what everybody's waiting for, which is how do you cure overthinking? And everything that you said, it brought me to realize the difference between. Now I'm overthinking, but it made me realize overthinking can become something that you start to believe. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
I think the first step to curing overthinking is to have awareness that you are overthinking. Because if you're not aware, you're going to believe you're not overthinking, and you're going to believe whatever the overthinking rabbit hole you fucking put yourself through. Yeah. And I think awareness is the first thing, just like it is to everything else.
I would agree.
What's an example of another example? Something small.
Being aware of overthinking?
No. When you have been aware of overthinking.
Today, whenever I was like, did I say this right? Did she think I was weird when I brought that up? Is it weird that I talked about this?
Keep said another.
Yeah.
I have an example. If you don't.
Well, I was going through, but like me, after my conversation with the founder of ITO, like me becoming aware was me realizing I'm literally thinking about what I said when she's probably not even thinking about what I said. Mm-hmm. And that was the stepping stone to me to stop overthinking and cure it.
She
and
could
after
be, though.
that, huh?
She could be thinking about what you said.
Okay, you're right, but
does it matter?
But the knowledge, what's the knowledge that you can get from that?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Does it actually matter at the end of the day if she thinks you're weird for something you said? And she probably doesn't even care that much if you said something weird anyways.
But what if you could say it a different way next time?
What if something you said ruined a brand deal opportunity?
You could do anything. You could have done something better anytime. Doesn't matter.
Hindsight is always 20/20,
There
dude.
it is. Yeah. I like that close statement.
All right, let's get to it. How do we... I don't think you can necessarily stop overthinking, but how do you help your overthinking?
I do have like a reframe. So like, not reframe. I thought that onto it. Something I realized recently is if everybody ever does a thing, there's nothing wrong with you. You are meant to be that person. You're meant to overthink. You're not meant to suffer from overthinking, but as part of humans, like you overthink, I overthink. I'm pretty sure everybody overthinks except mentally disabled people. So, like,
What?
Come on, like autism people that say whatever the fuck's on their mind.
I guess so, though. I'm talking about like,
trait, dude.
Wait, what did you say?
They got a good trait. They just say whatever the fuck.
anyways, what I mean though is like it's not anything to fix. I think it starts with what Cody's saying is like the things that are part of human, you can only realize it when you become aware of it.
How do you cure overthinking?
I don't think you cure overthinking. I think you become aware of it. And the way you're asking that, how do you cure it? That is how you cure it. Become aware of it. That's what the book, that's all over TikTok, dude. Don't believe everything you think. Is that what it's called? Exactly what it's called?
I think so.
Don't know the guy's name, to be honest. I know he's Asian. But anyways, I realized having this conversation, that was kind of the whole point of the book. It wasn't that you're supposed to try to fix your thinking. It's you're supposed to, not even supposed to, just become aware of it. Become aware of when you're thinking. Become aware of when that thinking is causing you to suffer. And you'll just slowly get better at it. It'll never be perfect, but that's the part of being human that you should just embrace.
Honestly, that was my answer too.
Yeah, honestly. But I do have methods. But I would want to hear your answer because you didn't agree.
To what?
That. Like, you didn't say it, so I don't know if you do.
Agreed. I mean, I agree, but I was trying to think of it like I agree because I heard it. That wasn't what I was thinking though, and I don't have a clear answer. I was still thinking about my answer. So
How can I Control-C, Control-V into Google Translate and then click the little arrows twice so it mashes it up? Y'all ever did that in an essay? Sorry.
Huh?
Dude, if someone sent you their essay in school, and you copied it, and then pasted it in Google Translate, and then translate it in Spanish, and then back in English, it rewords it.
Yeah. Oh, is that what he just did?
No, I was like...
He was making a joke of how to do that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was making a joke like... He was kind of saying like... He was trying to say it his way, anyway. And I was just making a stupid-ass joke.
Okay.
I was like, okay, Control-C, Control-V, switch.
Oh my
that's
God,
my
that joke
basically what I was finna just say
Yeah.
what he was gonna say.
But like reword it.
I was avoiding that, but
That's kind of funny.
That's a good joke, but dude, look, you're a nerd. But anyway,
All right, bro. Click the rate in your woman, bro.
I mean, I guess what you could say is, I mean, different ways of saying the same thing will hit different people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Anyways, what were you gonna say? Little head eye.
I don't know. I can overthink it. I don't know.
Back on it.
I'm back on there.
Dude, don't you like?
What do you
own-
wanna say?
Own a
Back on
domain
it.
that says overthinking.
Yeah, dude. I own a domain that's overthinkingagain.com. I think it's sick domain.
That's a fucking fire domain.
why do you own it?
Because I thought of making a course about overthinking.
But you don't have an
And I
answer.
thought about making that just my domain. Well, I have an answer of like methods. I remember that's what I was going to
There
talk
you go.
about.
I
Is
wanna hear
methods. So here's the thing about overthinking. It happens when you can't really determine your thoughts from reality. But the way that I do it and that I learned to do it from pretty much experts, I assume, is you write them down. So that's what a brain dump is. It's when you just write down everything on your mind and you see it as separate from you. And because that's what awareness is too. You're seeing your thoughts separate from you, your inner dialogue separate. And so when your words are like your thoughts on paper, you can literally see your patterns. You can see the way you're thinking. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've ever done is start doing brain dumps.
Wow, I love the action step, Austin.
I do too, because I was thinking about the word journaling before we started. Because I thought to myself before we started, what has helped the most? And honestly, it's like journaling. Like everybody knows about it, like you were saying earlier, but not everybody does it. But I think it's more powerful than people think. And that's a way I started doing. I don't even know when I started doing that, but I used to not write down straight thoughts. I would like try to structure every little thing about it. But I realized one time, or got told, that just to let out like all your thoughts, all the good, bad, random, whatever the fuck it is, you just let out on your paper before you go to the structured, because now you have the empty cup to put
It's
the
a
water
clear
in.
space.
Yeah.
Bro, what's funny with that?
Powerful.
And for anyone to know, like, all right, at what point is it your thoughts? Bro, my handwriting looks like shit right now. My hand's kind of hurting. Dude, I'm thirsty as fuck.
That's
Like,
your
I'll literally
thoughts?
write shit like that.
Is that when it's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Dude, guys,
literally
I feel
write your
that. I'd
thoughts.
be like, I don't know what to write right now, but I'm writing just because I know I need to write.
Bro, on God, have you ever been to the doctor?
Bro, it's funny. I have another method too.
Okay.
Wait, what's the method number one? Brain
Hey.
dump? Is that what?
Yeah. Method one is brain dump, and this is called just writing your thoughts on paper.
Make that a post.
All right, make this method real quick so that it doesn't get cut out.
What?
We
What are
have
you gonna
like
say?
4 minutes probably.
Oh, say the other one?
Yeah.
All right, the other method is cliche, but cliches work because they're cliches. They're cliches because it's true. It's called meditation. But I think I'm going to take a different route than most people have seen before because I learned recently that meditation is not trying to be calm and be centered in your breath, which that is a part of it, so I shouldn't have said that. Meditation is letting you feel how you feel and being aware of it. And when it comes to overthinking, we said awareness shifts consciousness. You have to be aware of overthinking to quote unquote cure it. And the easiest way to get aware is to meditate because you're intentionally being aware when you meditate. And at that moment, when you're letting feelings run through you, you are doing the hardest thing you can with awareness, which is letting the shit come and then being aware of it. And that just translates to everyday life.
How about that?
Oh, I have my solution.
All right.
So, like they said, being aware. So, like for example, if I'm scrolling on my phone all day, I'm not necessarily aware. Then I become aware that I'm scrolling my phone all day. It's time for me to switch my focus. So instead of focusing on the phone, I would focus on something else. I would rather put my focus. So let's say I was thinking of like, I said there was no method for like the girl thing, but like let's say you're in your bed just overthinking. The method would be you become aware or practice like meditation to become so you know how to become aware, and then switching your focus on what you want to focus on because you're focusing on your thoughts at that moment. And that's
Good.
This makes me want to drop like a full guide on like what we know of meditation because we're not no experts, but I think it's helped us a lot.
Facts. All right,
Dude, I
so
think the better
I
person's
do
one
need to
step
say
ahead.
this
All right.
pod is literally like we need to cut it right now. So I'm gonna say, everybody that listened, thank you so much. I love you. We all love you. Buy HDWYG. Invest in better connections and invest in understanding yourself and other people. Meditate, brain dump, talk to people.
Buy our
And-
journals that we're gonna have soon.
Yeah, and then one last thing. If you're on Spotify, rate the podcast. Help Spotify put it out to other people, and we could use that. Thank you.
Let's have a free agreement real quick before we actually end
Okay.
for YouTube. I'm not gonna call it the gentleman's agreement, but that's what it is.
The Achieve You agreement.
Yeah, the Achieve You agreement. give us a free subscribe. Press subscribe. It's free. And we will keep delivering your promise.
Whatever.
Content that shifts your perspectives. A podcast with people who are either peers or we're one step ahead of you. We're not claiming to be experts and that you're dumb.
Yeah.
Unless you don't believe what we believe.
By the way, Austin's conversion rate with women is 0.
All right, winning right there. Love you guys.
Yeah.